Hello everyone. Today we will talk about team performance management. The book's focus has primarily been on individual employee performance, but as organizations increasingly rely on teamwork, it's essential to explore team performance in depth. Currently, most organizations employ a team-based structure, reflecting a global shift in how work is organized. This transition to teams is viewed as a strategic response to the complexities and uncertainties of modern business environments. Surveys indicate that over 90% of companies prioritize redesigning their structures to include teams, aiming to enhance communication, decentralize authority, and create a more customer-oriented approach. This trend spans various industries, highlighting teams' adaptability and effectiveness, as demonstrated by examples like the U.S. military's adaptation during the Iraq War, where decentralization improved operational agility. Defining a team involves two or more individuals interacting effectively towards a shared goal. Teams can be temporary and dispersed geographically, demonstrating flexibility in modern work. Various configurations, such as autonomous work groups and cross-functional teams, highlight how organizations structure roles around collaborative efforts. Teams offer advantages in a competitive landscape by enabling a more diverse range of ideas and faster adaptation to changes. Additionally, with organizational downsizing resulting in flatter hierarchies, team-based frameworks align more naturally with contemporary needs compared to traditional models. Despite the advantages of team-based structures, it's crucial to recognize that such organizations do not automatically outperform those centered on individual contributions. The effectiveness of team performance is not guaranteed, which necessitates a performance management system that tracks both individual and team contributions. This system should ensure alignment with organizational goals and be holistic in its approach. It must evaluate team performance thoroughly while maintaining practical concerns, ensuring consistency and fairness in assessments. The integration of team performance metrics into existing frameworks should extend beyond individual assessments, capturing the complex dynamics of teamwork. Implementing a team performance management system involves potential pitfalls that need careful consideration. If feedback mechanisms are poorly designed or perceived as unfair, they can damage self-esteem and motivate turnover. Moreover, if the system fails to clarify how performance is evaluated, it can lead to misunderstandings and dissatisfaction among team members. Thus, organizations must be vigilant about designing systems that not only assess performance accurately, but also support team members through transparent and equitable processes. Successful implementation hinges on creating an environment that fosters team collaboration, supports resource allocation, and ensures that feedback is relevant and actionable. Certain conditions must be met for effective team performance management. The processes should allow team members the freedom to invest effort in their projects without conflicting goals. Additionally, organizations must create supportive contexts with adequate resources and appropriate structures that facilitate team performance. Lastly, feedback mechanisms should focus on areas within the team's control, ensuring that evaluations promote growth rather than hinder it. By establishing these conditions, organizations can leverage team dynamics to enhance overall performance effectively. Types of teams and implications for team performance management. Teams can be categorized based on two key dimensions: task complexity and membership configuration. Task complexity ranges from routine tasks, which are well-defined and predictable, to non-routine tasks, which lack clear specifications and entail long-term, difficult to assess outcomes. Membership configuration considers how long the team will work together and the stability of its members. Examples include product development teams, task forces, and committees. This classification has significant implications for performance management strategies. Work or service teams. Work or service teams are typically engaged in routine tasks such as manufacturing or service delivery. Members of these teams often have a stable membership and have worked together for an extended period, fostering familiarity and collaboration. For instance, assembly line teams in car manufacturing plants, like those at Toyota or Saab, exemplify this structure. Because these teams perform predictable tasks and share similar skills, peer ratings can be effective for performance measurement. Members can easily observe one another's performance daily, making feedback straightforward and beneficial. Project teams. Project teams are formed for specific tasks and are expected to disband once these tasks are completed. Unlike work teams, project teams often consist of members from diverse functional areas who might not know each other's specialties well. As seen in the development of IBM's first personal computer, these teams depend heavily on each member's expertise and advanced skills. Given their temporary nature, assessing performance at the project's conclusion may not facilitate the team's growth. Instead, implementing periodic evaluations throughout the project allows for timely corrections and improvements. Hewlett-Packard exemplifies this approach, using ongoing assessments for its teams engaged in product development. Network teams. Network teams represent a more fluid structure where members are not limited by time, space, or organizational boundaries. These teams often work on unique tasks and are usually geographically dispersed, relying on telecommunications technology for collaboration. An illustrative example is the cooperation between Russian and US astronauts and scientists, who engaged remotely before meeting in person at the Mir space station. Measuring performance outcomes in this context can be challenging, as projects are typically transitory. Thus, performance management for network teams should prioritize future capabilities, such as innovation, adaptability, flexibility, and problem-solving skills, rather than solely evaluating past performance. Implications for performance management. Understanding the type of team is crucial for designing effective performance management strategies. Different teams necessitate tailored measurement methods. For routine work teams, peer feedback works well, while project teams benefit from continual assessments that guide their development process. Network teams require a focus on fostering individual skills and future readiness since their work is often unique and collaborative. Virtual teams. Arthur C. Clarke's vision in 1974 foresaw a future where technology would enable seamless communication for professionals, allowing them to work from anywhere. Fast forward to today, and virtual teams have become a cornerstone of modern organizational structure. As global and competitive pressures intensify, the necessity for virtual teamwork has risen. A Career Builders survey found that 79% of knowledge workers frequently collaborate in virtual settings, while a 2014 Global Leadership Summit survey indicated that about 60% of business leaders expect that over half of their workforce will operate remotely by 2020. The advantages of virtual teams are multifaceted. From a financial perspective, organizations can significantly reduce travel expenses. Virtually, employees face fewer disruptions due to travel, enhancing work-life balance. This setup is particularly appealing to millennials who value flexibility. Additionally, organizations can downsize their physical office spaces, yielding considerable savings, especially in urban areas with high rental costs. This flexibility not only meets the needs of remote workers, but also maximizes resources for the organization. However, managing virtual teams poses distinct challenges. The lack of face-to-face interactions can lead to a sense of invisibility within the organization, resulting in unclear performance standards and a lack of team identity. Trust and team cohesion, essential for effective collaboration, are often harder to establish in virtual environments. Moreover, only about 20% of organizations provide training to help employees navigate performance dynamics within virtual teams. The comparatively lower frequency of communication in virtual teams can lead to misunderstandings and difficulties when conflicts arise or critical decisions need to be made. To mitigate these challenges, a robust performance management system tailored to virtual teams can be invaluable. Implementing structures such as team charters, analogous to individual job descriptions, can help clarify roles and responsibilities. Regular check-ins create a sense of connection among team members, fostering cooperation and improving conflict resolution. Performance review meetings add structure and can enhance overall team effectiveness. Furthermore, developmental activities focused on intercultural skills, teamwork, and effective technology usage are essential to elevate team performance. As virtual teams are becoming an enduring feature of the workplace, it is imperative for organizations to adopt performance management systems that encompass team dynamics. Failing to do so could lead to more adverse outcomes than benefits, undermining the potential of virtual teams. A case in point is MySQL, which exemplifies how to harness the advantages of virtual teams while addressing their challenges effectively. By creating an environment that supports both individual contributions and team performance, organizations can thrive in a dispersed work landscape. Purposes and challenges of team performance management. Performance management systems aim to achieve multiple goals, including strategic alignment, administrative efficiency, informational clarity, developmental support, organizational maintenance, and documentation. When these systems focus on team performance, an additional goal emerges, fostering accountability among all team members and motivating them to invest in collective outcomes. As organizations increasingly shift toward team-based structures, aligning performance management systems with this reality becomes essential. However, many organizations still rely on traditional individual-focused performance metrics, which presents a significant challenge in team environments. When performance is measured and rewarded at the individual level, it can undermine team effectiveness. Existing rewards designed for individual achievements can inadvertently discourage collaboration, as members may prioritize personal success over team contributions. This misalignment can lead to a decline in overall team performance. To navigate these challenges, organizations must address key questions regarding the integration of team components into their performance management systems. Assessing individual contributions, organizations need to determine how to evaluate the specific contributions of each team member. This involves assessing relative performance to identify any disparities among members. Key questions include how to recognize slackers or free riders who may not be pulling their weight, and ensuring that all members are actively contributing to team goals. Balancing individual and team performance. Finding the right balance between rewarding individual accountability and fostering a collective mission is crucial. Organizations must explore strategies that motivate team members to work towards shared objectives while holding individuals accountable for their contributions. This balance is vital for maintaining both team cohesion and personal responsibility. Identifying performance measures. Organizations must also delineate between individual and team performance metrics. Determining where individual performance ends and team performance begins is complex, and developing clear measures for both can help inform reward allocation. This clarity ensures that contributions are recognized appropriately and that everyone understands how their performance impacts the team. A study involving structured interviews with individuals in Hong Kong and the Pearl River Delta revealed the prevalence of these challenges. Approximately 38% of respondents indicated they participated in purely individual performance systems, while about 34% were in systems that combined individual and team components, and 25% were solely in team-oriented systems. This variation highlights the need for organizations to thoughtfully incorporate team metrics into their performance assessment frameworks. Including team performance in the performance management system. Incorporating team performance into a performance management system can be effectively accomplished by adhering to 6 key principles. These principles ensure that the system is not only functional, but also enhances collaboration and accountability within teams. Ensure the team is genuine. Before introducing a team component in the performance management system, it is essential to verify that the organization truly has operational teams. Different types of teams exist, and clarity on this distinction helps in crafting appropriate performance measures. Invest in performance management analytics. Measuring team performance demands a significant investment in time and resources. Organizations must commit to establishing robust analytics capabilities. This investment is crucial for collecting meaningful data that can guide team performance evaluations. Define measurement goals clearly. Clarity about how performance data will be utilized is critical. Organizations need to decide whether the data will serve administrative, developmental purposes, or both before designing measurement frameworks. Understanding the purpose helps in identifying relevant data sources and determining the appropriate methods for data collection. Adopt a multi-method and multi-source measurement approach. Given the complexity of team performance, employing various methods and sourcing data from multiple channels is important. This multifaceted approach provides richer insights into team dynamics and performance. Focus on process and results. Effective management of team performance requires attention to both the processes that lead to results and the outcomes themselves. Evaluating how teams achieve their results alongside what they produce adds depth to performance assessments. This dual focus can help identify best practices and areas for improvement. Measure long-term changes. While short-term results are easier to quantify, long-term performance measurements are crucial. Teams should be assessed over various contexts and extended timeframes to capture the evolution of their performance and the impact of their efforts. Integrating the principles into the performance management process. The performance management process has several basic components, each of which can be enhanced by the principles outlined above. Goal setting. When setting objectives, ensure they align with both team and organizational goals, and clarify the purpose of performance measurement. Measurement. Implement the multi-method and multi-source approach here, utilizing surveys, peer assessments, and results tracking to gather data on both processes and outcomes. Feedback. Regular feedback sessions should emphasize not only results but also the collaboration processes and team dynamics. fostering a culture of continuous improvement, development. Focus on long-term team development by integrating skills training and team-building activities that reflect the goals and measurement criteria established. Evaluation. Regularly assess both short-term achievements and long-term trends in team performance, using the insights gained to adjust strategies and support ongoing team effectiveness. Prerequisites for team performance management. Integrating team performance into a management system requires two essential prerequisites: knowledge of the organization's mission. Team members must understand the broader organizational mission, along with the specific mission of their team or unit. This alignment enables employees to contribute meaningfully to both their units and the organization's objectives. Knowledge of the job. A thorough understanding of the tasks involved is necessary. Conducting a job analysis helps identify key responsibilities and the required knowledge, skills, and abilities, KSAs, for both individual and team roles. Clear information about team expectations simplifies the establishment of success criteria. Team charters. In the context of teams, job descriptions are transformed into team charters. These documents summarize the team's duties and include additional information about team dynamics. Key components of a team charter typically include strategic alignment, how the team's work supports organizational goals; team purpose, the reason for the team's existence; objectives, goals, and priorities; clear primary objectives and their prioritization; key stakeholders, identifying individuals with a vested interest in the team's output; team customers, defining internal and external customers that the team serves; team leader and sponsor, identifying the team leader and an external champion who supports the team; roles and responsibilities, explicitly stating each member's role and responsibilities within the team; time commitments, outlining the expected time investments from team members; communication plan, establishing rules for team communication, including frequency and methods; ground rules, defining interaction protocols among team members, such as meeting conduct and out-of-scope elements; clarifying what tasks are included and excluded from the team's responsibilities; key deliverables, specifying the tangible outcomes expected from the team; performance analytics, outlining how team success will be measured; identifying relevant KSAs. In addition to the team charter, organizations must identify KSAs that enhance team performance. Communication, effectively providing and receiving feedback, listening actively, and sharing information. Decision-making, contributing to the team's decision-making processes. Collaboration, navigating conflicts, valuing diversity, and sharing accountability. Team leadership, understanding how to lead and motivate the team effectively. Self-control, managing emotions and maintaining professionalism even in challenging situations. These KSAs are closely linked to contextual performance, highlighting that high individual task performance doesn't always translate to effective team participation. Performance planning and performance management. Performance planning is a critical component of the performance management process that sets the stage for achieving both individual and team objectives. This phase emphasizes the careful consideration of two fundamental aspects: the results teams are expected to deliver and the behaviors that facilitate these outcomes. Furthermore, performance planning necessitates the development of a structured developmental plan aimed at enhancing team capabilities and individual contributions. Each of these considerations plays a crucial role at the team level, ensuring that expected results, necessary behaviors, and developmental aims are clearly defined and understood. A thorough discussion of expected results is essential for establishing team accountabilities. This includes specifying objectives for each accountability, which serves as tangible goals that the team is working toward. Additionally, it is important to define performance standards that outline acceptable and unacceptable levels of performance. Such a framework provides clarity and direction, enabling team members to align their efforts with the overall goals of the team. In relation to behaviors, discussions should focus on the competencies required for success, encompassing clusters of knowledge, skills, and abilities, KSAs, that team members must exhibit to achieve desired results. The developmental plan is another integral aspect of performance planning. This plan identifies areas for improvement and sets achievable goals in those areas, benefiting both the team and its individual members. For instance, while a team might aim to enhance its internal decision-making processes, individual members may focus on developing specific skills, such as active listening, which directly support the team's overall objectives. This individual focus not only contributes to personal growth, but also enhances collective team performance. To facilitate and accelerate team learning and development, several recommendations can be employed. First, adaptive learning should be encouraged, allowing team members to experiment with new behaviors and reflect on the effectiveness of these changes after completing tasks or projects. This reflection helps in understanding what strategies worked and which did not, fostering a culture of continuous improvement. Second, generative learning can be facilitated by sharing best practices from other teams, both within the organization and across different contexts. This approach enables teams to practice newly acquired skills until they become second nature. Transformative learning is another vital aspect of team development, encouraging teams to experiment with innovative ways of collaborating. This can involve discussions about feelings of uncertainty related to change, which helps in normalizing the challenges faced during transitions. Additionally, inviting members from other teams to engage in discussions or even participate temporarily can introduce new perspectives and practices, thereby fostering innovation and adaptation within the team. Performance execution in the performance management process. Performance execution is the third essential component of the performance management process, focusing on how teams carry out their responsibilities to achieve established goals. In autonomous teams, members are solely accountable for execution. However, when a supervisor or team leader is present, the responsibility is shared. This collaboration is crucial. Team members must commit to achieving goals and actively seek feedback from both peers and supervisors. Open communication is necessary for keeping the supervisor informed about the team's progress, and team members should also engage in regular peer assessments to prepare for performance reviews. This proactive approach helps teams gain insights into their performance from multiple perspectives. The role of the team leader is vital to the success of performance execution. They are responsible for observing team dynamics, documenting performance, and providing guidance on changing organizational goals. Additionally, they must equip team members with the necessary resources and motivation to succeed. Building a high-performing team requires specific knowledge, skills, and abilities, KSAs, including fostering trust among team members. Trust is particularly critical in virtual teams, where reliance on peers and leaders is essential for effectiveness. Furthermore, team leaders need to establish a motivating vision and provide constructive feedback that supports both individual and team development. A compelling example of transforming underperforming teams into high achievers is illustrated by Greece's unexpected victory in the 2004 European Championships. Despite being considered underdogs, Greece's success stemmed from four key factors. Vision. Clear goals and strategies are essential for guiding team members towards expected results. Performance analytics. Reliable data from various sources enables better decision-making for team leaders. Feedback. Constructive feedback helps both individuals and the team understand their performance. Morale. Collective engagement and a sense of shared purpose foster teamwork, shifting focus from competition to cooperation. Otto Rehagel, the Greek team's coach, exemplified these principles by creating a common vision and boosting team morale, turning the squad into a cohesive unit. Additionally, innovative practices can enhance performance management, as shown by Whataburger, a fast food chain that hosts Whataburger Games to foster teamwork among employees. These competitions serve multiple purposes: improving skills, enhancing teamwork, and recognizing top performers with awards. This fun, competitive environment contributes significantly to overall team performance and organizational success. Performance assessment in the performance management process. Performance assessment is the fourth critical component of the performance management process, emphasizing the evaluation of both individual and team performance. In this stage, team members assess each other's contributions, which fosters collaboration, accountability, and improvement. Peer evaluations, a central element of this stage, encourage workload sharing and boost team coordination by allowing members to provide and receive feedback. This process helps identify and rectify errors swiftly, enhancing overall team effectiveness. In addition to peer assessments, team leaders also evaluate individual performances and the team as a collective unit. Furthermore, members from other teams may contribute evaluations based on their first-hand experiences with the team's performance. Engaging each team member in the assessment process promotes ownership and commitment, which are vital for a well-functioning team. Self-appraisals are also important, giving insights that can guide performance reviews. When team members articulate their understanding of expectations, it creates clarity for both themselves and their leaders. Despite its benefits, the assessment phase can be subject to biases. Research has shown that team members may rate peers more leniently after receiving positive feedback and more harshly after negative feedback. This phenomenon indicates that emotional responses to peer evaluations can influence ratings, highlighting the necessity for training programs to minimize such biases. To ensure comprehensive assessment, 3 types of performance must be evaluated. Individual task performance. This refers to the specific activities and responsibilities tied to an individual's role, such as a programmer's ability to produce high-quality code. Individual contextual performance. This encompasses behaviors that support team dynamics, like cooperation and communication among team members. Overall team performance. This evaluates how well the team functions collectively, reflecting both individual contributions and collaborative efforts. Measuring the we aspect of performance involves assessing team performance across 4 dimensions. Effectiveness evaluates whether the team's results meet the needs of its customers and stakeholders. focusing on outcomes like quality and timeliness. Efficiency looks at internal processes that facilitate achieving results, including the effectiveness of communication and collaboration. Learning and growth assesses the team's ability to develop new skills and enhance performance over time, tracking innovation and improvement efforts. Team member satisfaction measures how content team members are with their roles and the overall team experience, including personal growth opportunities. To maintain focus, it is advised that teams limit their performance measures to about 15 key indicators. An overload of metrics can detract from actual work, leading to inefficiencies. Including an external perspective during performance discussions can also enhance objectivity, helping teams reflect on their achievements and areas needing improvement more accurately. Performance review in the performance management process. The performance review represents the fifth component of the performance management process, where team members meet with their team leader or manager to evaluate performance. In organizations that utilize autonomous teams, this may involve a team leader meeting with a performance review board, which includes representatives from various teams, rather than a direct supervisor. These performance reviews typically encompass at least 2 key meetings. First, the team leader convenes a meeting with all team members to focus on the overall performance of the team. This gathering reviews the results achieved collectively, drawing on evaluations from team members, feedback from other teams, and the supervisor's insights. The second meeting involves one-on-one discussions between the team leader and each team member, concentrating on how individual behaviors impacted team performance. This personalized feedback is informed by self-assessments, peer evaluations, and insights from supervisors. Both meetings address 3 temporal dimensions: the past, present, and future. The past focuses on performance during the review period, assessing achievements and challenges. The present addresses any changes in compensation related to these results. The future is oriented toward establishing goals and developmental plans for both the team and its individual members for the next review cycle. Essential to these discussions are specific knowledge, skills, and abilities, KSAs, that can enhance individual contributions to the team. For instance, a study of over 400 professionals identified 2 crucial KSAs for virtual team members: leading and deciding. This includes making clear decisions, motivating team members, and setting goals. It emphasizes autonomy and responsibility in a team context. Analyzing and interpreting. This involves effective communication, both written and verbal, as well as the ability to analyze data and adapt to new technologies. Understanding team dynamics and working smoothly with digital media are also crucial components. Reflecting on these competencies prompts individuals to assess their strengths and weaknesses. Identifying areas for improvement can be particularly beneficial in preparing for future roles that may involve virtual teams, which are becoming increasingly prevalent. Rewarding team performance. In organizational contexts, teams are integral to operations, necessitating the alignment of reward systems to incentivize team performance. Organizations that implement performance management systems must adapt their reward structures accordingly. For example, Motorola's production teams in China earn additional compensation for maintaining low error rates. A study of top management teams in a global IT company revealed that rewards were tied to organizational goals, 25%, team goals, 50%, and individual goals, 25%. Companies like Apple and Google incorporate team performance assessments into their formal review processes, ensuring that rewards are distributed at the team level. Similarly, Phelps Dodge Mining Company transitioned to a team-based reward system for over 4,200 employees, shifting from hourly wages to salaries based on team performance metrics, such as minimizing truck maintenance downtime. Variable pay systems can also incentivize teams, allowing individual bonuses based on collective achievements, which may be funded by savings from improved efficiency. Effective team-based reward systems should mirror successful principles used for individual rewards, ensuring eligibility, visibility, and accountability. Research indicates that team-based pay can boost motivation, with one study showing a 22% increase in task dedication leading to better performance. Key success factors for team rewards include their effectiveness in smaller teams, where individual contributions are more visible. However, caution is necessary. Rewards designed to encourage cooperation might enhance accuracy, but not necessarily speed. This highlights the importance of aligning reward systems with intended outcomes to avoid the pitfalls of misaligned incentives.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.